Welcome to this short introduction to the subject TESOL methodology, a subject you'll be undertaking this semester, in Semester 1, 2018. I hope that this very short presentation will just give you an overview of the subject, a little bit about me, and what you'll need to start the subject. So my name is Mari Quinn, and I'll be your teacher for this subject. And so I'm going to start with just a little introduction about me so that you feel somewhat confident that I'll be taking you as your lecturer for this subject. So I've been a teacher for quite a long time and also a university lecturer. My work has been in Sydney, in Perth, in Canberra, in Melbourne, also Papua New Guinea, Timor-Leste, Japan, and also in the UK. And so in all of these places I've been involved in some degree to teaching English as a subject or as a medium of instruction. My more recent work has been as an education advisor in Timor-Leste, the Solomon Islands and PNG. So some of the work that I've been involved in the last 10 years or so is things like heading up a curriculum review of primary education, particularly in the area of literacy, but my role was to oversee the whole of the primary curriculum, working across 3 languages, one of which was English, and you can see here with my the staff members, I'm not speaking English here. Also sitting in the dust of refugee camps, working with teachers, try and get them back to school. Not working in English in this one either, but certainly in how to teach language, and also in PNG working with, for example here, working with teacher educators, working in English, but using many languages. So my work has been around EFL as well as EALD, and I'm now working full-time as of this year at UTS. I also run workshops with visiting academics, and I also still do a bit of work in schools supporting teachers. So some of my work is teaching teachers in high schools, for example, more about language, and then also how to teach their students. So my work has both a theoretical and research perspective, as well as still teaching and teaching in schools as well. And I still write materials for overseas settings. And so this subject is designed to provide you, students, with an introduction to the theory and practice of teaching English to speakers of other languages, and we'll be taking in a variety of contexts, both Australian and internationally. So this subject is a core unit in the graduate certificate, which some of you may be enrolled in, and that's all you're doing, and some of you may have further ambitions, of course, to do a diploma, and we hope a master's at some point. But it is a core unit. It links very closely to the TESOL practicum. So this is really the foundational knowledge for knowing why we use the strategies and activities that we do in the classroom. So it's a subject somewhere between the theoretical and the practical. So we'll be looking at what underpins the strategies. Why are we doing the things we're doing? Why would we choose one type of activity over another? So you may have also completed Introduction to Language and Language Development, or have RPL for these subjects, so already teaching in these sort of areas. These subjects are not necessary, but very useful to draw upon. So I'll be always asking you to draw upon what you've already done. If you haven't done these subjects yet, it's okay, you won't be disadvantaged. But we always want to keep in mind that things have gone before us and we're already in a situation. So really draw upon what your context is, what you already know. And in terms of who you are, our students for this subject are drawn from a range of settings. We've got Australian students and international students. Some of you from the school sector, primary school, high school sector. Some of you are in adult education. Some of you are in preparation for study courses or other English for specific purpose courses. Some of you may be working in community languages. And some of you may be doing or intend to do foreign language teaching at some point. Some of you may already be doing that. Some of you may have been doing this for a long time and are now coming to put the certification around that, the qualification around what you already do. So we want to honour that sort of experience. So really the big message for this subject is to bring your own context to the subject. So I don't want primary school teachers having to do assignments about adult education courses for vocational type courses, for example. I don't want a TAFE teacher to have to do something around the Australian curriculum for high school. the idea is for us to look at the area, and then you bring your experience and especially tailor your assignments to be something useful, so that you can really be thinking about why you're doing the things you're doing, or why you might do the things that you're doing. Keeping in mind, if you are working from an international context, use that as part of the setting for your assignments. So just a few messages about our classes, or workshops we'll be calling them. There are two modes for this subject. There are the weekly face-to-face, or there are the block modes. You can do either. The weekly classes run on a Tuesday from 4:30 till 6:30 p.m. The classroom number will be on your timetable, so please check that. If you're doing a block mode, this will be running on Saturdays. 4 Saturdays, 9 till 3 p.m, and you can see the dates are there. They get closer together the more we work together. So if you are already enrolled in the weekly classes and you would like to move into the block, there are still spaces. So if you'd like to move into the block classes, you can do that yourself online, and we'll welcome you on those Saturdays. For both of the modes, the assessment is due at the same time, and we've organised the block so that you are not disadvantaged. If you do the block or you do the face-to-face, you'll get ample opportunity to be able to undertake your assessments in a timely way. The subject outline, which is in the subject site, provides the content and the timing for the weekly workshops. What I will do is, when we know who's doing the block, I will be sending you a separate timetable. But keep in mind, the content and the sequence will be the same. So you can probably see how to group it yourself, but I will send you a block timetable just so you're very clear what needs to happen, and what will be happening each time we meet, and that we don't waste your time, of course. So the preparation for week 1, there is no preparation, except to say, please read the subject outline. Be aware of it. Have a look through the subject site on UTS Online. If you're new to this system, follow the links and just take a bit of time to see what's on the site. If you've done this before, still take some time to have a look at the site and see what sort of readings and what sort of activities will be there. Not everything is filled in, but you will find every week anything that we deal with in that week will be in a folder, and people doing the block workshops, you will also have a folder for each block, so you can just go to one place. So there's no preparation for week 1 or block 1. However, from week 2 to 12, face-to-face or blocks continuing, each week I'll put an introductory video, something a bit like this, just to preview what we'll be doing, what you'll be reading about, and then the readings will come after that. I really suggest that you watch the video so you've got your head in that space. I will talk about what's in the readings, why you're looking at the readings, any background that might help you to do the readings, and then some guidance for doing that, so that we can then use the readings to work in the next workshop. So we want to get that nice continuous flow of information and learning going on. There is a required text for this subject, and it looks like this. It's the practice of English language teaching, and it's not written there, but this is the 5th edition, so that's what it looks like. It's the Jeremy Harmer book. This book is available from the Co-op Bookshop or Bridge Bookshop, which is it's on Broadway, but you have to go around the corner and press the buzzer to get in. But anyway, they also have copies of the book. So I understand, of course, that buying a textbook is an investment. I hope it will be a good investment. I think even though we will use this book each week, and while we won't look at every single chapter, I think you'll find that there's a lot of information that will be useful for you down the track. It would be a good resource book. So I'd like to have a textbook that I think you will dip into. The best books I had from Teachers College about 100 years ago. Some of them I still have, and they were good for dipping into, so I'm hoping that this will provide you with that. So all I've got to say then is welcome, and I look forward to meeting you next week. I'll see you in class, and my contact details are there on the screen. Have a good week until then.